behind soon. We are by dwellers. We dwell by this world, but we're really not part of it. I remember preaching last year, was it in South Africa, when a dear man stood up and challenged me, a liberal theologian, at the end of one address, and he said, "You are out of your mind. In fact, what you have just said is out of this world." I said, "Thank you, my good sir, for such a high compliment. I accept that I am out of my mind and I'm into the mind of Christ. And I accept that I am out of this world because I belong to another world." And he sat down so fast I thought he'd gone through the chair. Friends, that is it. That is it. We are in the world, but we are not of it. We are by dwellers. We don't become too involved, too entangled. We are concerned, but we are not over-concerned in the sense that we become worried or alarmed. For we are involved in the kingdom of God, and we realize that our future is wrapped up in that, and not simply in the kingdoms of this world. Great. The term pilgrims is in the Greek, parapidemo, and it means a by-resident, one who resides by a people without being part of them or belonging to them, among a people not one's own. How true that is. Again, we are in the world, but not of it. I don't know how you feel, but when I was in business, I used to almost run to the house of God at the end of a day to get amongst the people of God. All day, living and moving and dwelling amongst those who were not really my people. I didn't belong to them. I didn't really relate to them. But to get with the people of God, that's a different story, isn't it? Don't you feel at home tonight? 3 of you do. God bless you. You feel at home in Carabas. And when you go back to work tomorrow, you don't feel at home. Why? And some Christians say, "Should it be like that, Pastor? Maybe there's something wrong with me." No, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just here for a temporary period. You're just a by-dweller, a by-resident. You don't belong to these people. They don't belong to you. You belong to the people of God. And you feel most at home when you're in the company and fellowship of God's people. And I tell you, there's no fellowship like God's fellowship. I almost said, and there's no fellowship like God's fellowship in Carabas, but you know what I mean, don't you? Because I love this people, and love the fellowship, and love the cause of Jesus Christ here. And so this is it. See, we are strangers and pilgrims, and we are here not to conform in every detail to the worldly standards. We are not to allow the world to squeeze us into its mold, but to here implement the principles and precepts of that other world and that other kingdom in which we are involved. Now let me close with this simple thought, and we'll leave the rest. The extension of the heavenly state. I return again to Philippians 1:27. Let your conversation be as becometh the gospel of Christ. Or literally in the Greek, exercise your citizenship. Listen to Dr. Moffat. You've heard of Dr. Moffat, haven't you? Years ago, Dr. Moffat and Mr. Weymouth, my word, they were among the most celebrated scholars. Today they've been overtaken by so many others. But they're always worth reading. Dr. Moffat says, as colonists, I like that, our business is to reproduce the laws, the manners and customs of the mother country in the land where we are placed until the time of our recall. Isn't that great? Now that is what the Beatitudes is all about when we come to them. Being in the attitude. Living like citizens of that citizenship. Reproducing here the laws, the manners and the customs of heaven. It's exciting, isn't it? So that where you are, there can be a little revelation of heaven on earth. I tell you that when we live like this, we are marked people. A dear man once came to me and said, don't you think it's wonderful, Brother Skelton? He said, I've worked in a factory in Manchester for 10 years. And when the foreman made a presentation, he said to me, I've just found out that George is a Christian. And he said, we didn't know for 10 years. He managed to keep it a close guarded secret. And he said, I compliment George on fitting in to the factory life, on